Phil, we know you need to run. I'm going to squeeze in one more question if you have time. Your conversation with Kirk Ferentz regarding Iowa. And of course, this is the biggest aberration to me in college football. It's almost amusing how great the special teams and the defense is every season, elite or near elite. And then the offense, just mind-blowing how awful it is. You would think that they could randomly call plays and they would produce more yardage than they do. As a bottom 5 offense in college football the past few seasons. Was there anything in that conversation or anything in your metrics besides having possibly the best quarterback that they've had in a decade in Cade McNamara that would give you optimism that Iowa can form some sort of a semblance on offense?
Oh, absolutely. There's numerous things. First of all, offensive line. You go back to 2 years ago, they basically had one returning starter on the offensive line. It was their All-American center, but they were extremely young at the other positions. Last year, they lost their All-American center. They were still fairly young and got a little bit older, but now this year, they've got a legitimate offensive line. It's finally with the type of offensive line they used to have. And it hasn't been that long since I always had a good offense. You go back to 2020, they averaged 31.8 points per game. 2018, 31.2 points per game, 375 yards per game. So the offense can produce. Now that they have the offensive line, they've got the running backs with Johnson and Williams. When Cade McNamara hit the transfer portal, my first thought, within 5 seconds of seeing his name, was go to Iowa. And here he is. He's the perfect guy. He's the game manager, but he's a high percentage quarterback that doesn't make mistakes. And let's face it, Iowa's offense, I'm sure, is conservative in the fact that let's not go lose this game. We've got the defense that's not going to allow the other team to score. We got the special teams that can pin the other team deep. Let's not take any undue chances. McNamara won't take those chances, but they can trust him with more. He brings over Eric All coming over from Michigan. McNamara to All was the touchdown combination that beat Penn State 2 years ago on the road, and now here they are at Iowa. They've got Lachey at tight end. They got Reganey, a wide receiver. I think they're going to have a vastly improved offense. The defense, one of the best in the country. Shocked that Nickel Jackson stayed in the portal as long as he did. I thought he was one of the ACC's best linebackers, and now he comes here to Iowa to replace Jack Campbell. I think that's a great move. And then I still rate him the number 2 special teams. So I look for them to have a strong defense, a strong special teams, and a much improved offense this year. Add it all up. When I did the first right through the magazine, I had Iowa as my favorite to win the West. The only reason I didn't pick them is they do have to play both Penn State and Wisconsin on the road this year. But I think if you're following Iowa football, you are going to find an much improved offense, the usual defense and special teams, and a very dangerous team.
And all of that's fair. I will say that in doing some of my research, that aside from that 2020 season in which they did go 6-2 and finished in the top 50 in America in offense, you have to go back to 2006 to find a top 50 in total yards per game Iowa offensive team. So, it has been a bit rough, but there are signs of hope there, certainly with McNamara and All and others. Caleb Johnson, a really good running back, coming back 200-yard game against Purdue last year.